You know what, chat? You know what? Let's get right down to business here because we do have a little bit to do before we get to the renaming, i.e. the entirety of the off-season. So I want to get to that here soon. Of course, the last thing that we looked at, all of the players that we were losing, as painful as it is, especially with our Heisman winner Kai and Ty, but that's in the past. We got to move forward now. Oh, and see what the next chapter is for ye old Wyoming Cowboys. We had a full 25 scholarship there, so we won't have any transfers. I thought for sure we would have to rely on transfers a lot more, but that hasn't been the case. Yeah, Kai and Ty doesn't get drafted because there's height and weight minimums that a prospect has to hit for them to be worthy of being picked. It's one of the faults of this game. Obviously, IRL, that guy goes pro. Yeah, 25 scholarships taken up. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. 13-1, though. What a season, huh? What a season. My goodness, my... So, NHL scouting. Yeah, that's the equivalent of picking the power forward instead of the 5'8" skill guy, basically. In terms of the top classes, we were 79th, which is always to be expected. The top class in the nation belongs to USC. Jesus Christ. National champions again, then they have the top class. The Golden Gophers, though, have maybe been the biggest surprise of this run. One of them, at least. They just continue to be a threat. Crazy. Who had the worst class? El Paso. Ugh. Or El Paso. Yikes. Boston College isn't looking too hot either. Not great. So that'll bring us to the positional changes, and this could be interesting for us. That's why I wanted to jump in pretty much as soon as possible tonight. 5 athletes. All right. Oh, my God. 81 overall at quarterback, good running back, good wide receiver. Shit. There's Dominique Williams, 95 speed. Clearly a better wideout than a running back, but can also play in the secondary. Shane Chandler, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. I mean, even like a low-end tight end. Damn. Schnoz, by the way, what's going on? We got Chris Arnold, running back, full pack, wideout, tight end. Derek Williams, running back, wide receiver, or in the secondary. Right. Well, what the hell are we going to do here? That's the question. I think what we're going to do first, anybody that can be a quarterback, I need to see if they are going to be good at quarterback, and we will have to decide who is actually going to be a quarterback. We will just outright consider Toothy Oral a running back at this point, given he'd only be in the 60s as a quarterback. Like that time has passed him. Become a team that throws only laterals. We're close. We're close. Let's be honest. Gonna be a team of jet sweepers by the end of the season. Looks like nobody here can be a good quarterback. Just want to double check because now we have the new tight ends and someone's gonna have to go to fullback. I need to check on people who are in the secondary as well. I wish there was a faster way to do this. But given all of the crazy talent that we lost in the past year, now is the right time to check on things. Endurance M. Endurance I can only read your name now as if Marge Simpson was in the room. Oh, God damn it. Let's see. Jim Robinson. All right, I think... I don't know what the hell I just made that guy. All right. Let me just check the corners because if it's a linebacker, they're probably too slow. I don't remember which one of these guys happened to be athletes in the past that we may have moved over. Obviously, except for the 2 new guys. But, whoops, didn't mean to move that guy to quarterback. That was okay. All right, so quarterback options. We got these 2 guys that need to go back to the secondary for the moment. We have 6 dudes. All of them are juniors. Ones in yellow have previously been redshirted. The ones in white are all new players. Who the hell is going to be a quarterback on this team? 95 throw power for the Girthquake. Only 84 throw power for someone else, please. I feel like someone else should probably get moved then. Could be a running back, could be a wide receiver. I'm going to base it primarily off of throw power, I think. We need someone that has an arm. This guy's only got 85 speed. We're going to move him to running back. So it's down to probably moving Shane Chandler. And then either Richardson, Seals, or Thornton. Although I'd prefer not to move Thornton. It's not that yellow are new players, JD. It's not. You can see junior RS. Nobody else in white has that. But it's okay. Chandler. We're going to move him 83 speed, so he would be a running back over a wideout. Can't play the secondary. So Richardson can't really play anywhere else. So as good as Frank Thornton would be, just out of necessity, we're going to have to move him elsewhere. Which means we're down to Sam Steele, Girthquake, and Danny Richardson. Meaning that Seals probably gets redshirted this year. He's a monster. Again, 6'7". We'll redshirt him and play Girthquake and Danny Richardson because we won't be too worried about having Danny Richardson. Girthquake will be an 80+ by the time the season starts. He will be our best quarterback. I don't think we need 4 wideout or 4 quarterbacks. I think we only need the 3 to have the minimum depth chart. So, give me the Tyler the Creator's Earthquake, but Girthquake. I prefer a Garfquake, actually. A lot of lasagna. At running back. Don't stop me having a good time. Should have 90 speed by the time the season starts. I think we could move him to wide out. And it would clearly be his best position. So we're going to do that. Actually, how good were you? Actually, I don't give a shit how good you were at running back. Running back's going to be good no matter what. 88 speed for Frank Thornton, but he's going to stay there. So I think that is the setup for running back, unless we might as well just put Chandler at quarterback too. There's a lot of other juniors. He'll be, yeah, let's just put Chandler at QB. That way it's 4-4 and I don't have to worry about the depth chart. That should be fine. Should be. Because I don't want any of these guys in other positions. None of them can play fullback. All right, we're good there. We got big Conway, big Twitty goth girlfriend at fullback, of course. Move you over to tight end for the minute. So these are the tight end fullbacks that we have. Having a good times there. Mark James. Will at 89 speed be good enough in the future? You know what? I'm going to go with my gut, actually. Gonna go with my gut. Chandler back to running back. Thornton's gonna go to wideouts because he will hit 90 speed sooner rather than later. Can any of these guys play tight end? Obviously, we got to put in a little bit of work this season when we lost as much talent as we did. But we do need to optimize as best we can. Try and make sure we do not immediately get relegated. So, between the tight ends and fullbacks, again, Big Twitty is 10 points better. We need one more person to move over. That's a -4. Friends in low places. We put him at tight end before. But Jesus, he could be a monstrous wide receiver. We'll have to think about that. 6'5", I mean, might be worth moving him. Burgess is a -2. Penn's a -1, but he's a really fucking good tight end. Varsity Athlete's a -3. MetLife is a -4. I think we move Tim Burgess. The second fullback spot that we need. And we move Friends in Low Places over to wideout. So we have the 2 fullbacks that we need. Crap load of wide receivers. And 3 really good tight ends. 2 of them are seniors, which is a bit of a problem, but cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, MetLife would be a 79 rated running back, but again, none of these already established running backs could play tight end that well. So, can any of these guys here play in the secondary? Deanie, we only lost 1 game all year, but we did not make the national title game, unfortunately. But it was a pretty incredible season. Okay, none of these guys so far can play in the secondary. Are you able to use numbers? Can. He's not amazing there, but he can. We did get promoted, yes. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Mark James. We got Qual ET, phone home, who doesn't work. Thanks, Obama, no relation. And then there's James. So there's only 1 guy who might be able to play in the secondary, and he's not even particularly that good. That just means we have, frankly, a butt ton of wide receivers. If I need somebody for the secondary, I can move somebody over. For the most part, then, we're looking all right. And I'll save those 3 athletes for the moment. Offensive line. Let's sort this out really quickly. Catcher, I'm going well. How's it going? I'm going well. And it is going well. How are you? I have no complaints outside of trying to solve this mental Rubik's Cube known as setting up this team. So again, Mayo stays the same. Bug Kid did get better. Pepper gets worse. Move him to right tackle. Sundance gets better. Gesser gets worse. Fook me, fook you to the interior. Gulp stays the same. Covered Ed Wagon. I always wanted to say Chuck Wagon, but that was his brother. Buck London stays the same. Move Fingies over. And then Chinese name. So anybody that keeps the same overall, I need to move to the interior for the moment, just to make up the numbers. So that looks okay. And for the interior, +4 for Mayo, +2. +2. Another +2. Gulp is a +3. London's a +2. So we'll move Gulp and Instrument to the middle. And we will be pretty well set on the offensive line from the looks of it. Defensively, Alvin Pierre, I'm going to move you to linebacker. We're decently fast. Defensive tackle, let's move Willie Nelson. The edge. Hopefully we have enough defensive tackles. I think we need 4 instead of 3, so that could be a little bit shaky. And then here... Okay. Should be all right. So let's move these guys to the left. Also move you to the left. You're going to go to left end. Move you to the left. See how well we can organize this. Move Reggie Bush to the defensive line and a Mayor McCheese. In the secondary, it actually looks like we are okay. Just in terms of the numbers that we need. Move Slade Cook to linebacker. Got the kicker, got the punter. Of course, the kicker that we ended up getting was an 86 overall out of the gates, which is insane. But only has 78 power, but does have 95 accuracy. So you know what? We'll keep him. 95 accuracy. You better be able to frickin' hit a field goal, champ. You better be able to. My God. All right, so here. Well, we got he'll miss every kick anyway. You're right, but still. Lowest speed. We'll move Willie Nelson back to DT. Let's move you to the right. Let's move you to the right. And you to the right. And it's a decent split. 4 defensive tackles. Then for the linebackers. Dirty Dan's a +1. Cat's a -1. Deer Meat's a +1. Sledge, also +1. Oliver can stay on the outside. Potts can stay on the outside. Ellis can stay on the outside. Cook can stay on the outside. Madier can stay on the outside. Most of these guys can stay on the outside. Okay. We'll move Potts to the middle. Just to have 4. We got 1 guy on the right. Let's see. I think we'll be cutting a linebacker or 2, is my guess. But it's 4 in each spot. And then for the secondary, which has taken a massive, massive hit in terms of players that graduated or went pro. In your area is a +7. Gay Icon, George Washington. DeConja's a +8. Winklesass, a +6. Merriman's a +7. Robinson, a +8. Chaps was a +8. All player also significantly better. Those are all the numbers that we need. Those would be the corners. And then it's safety. Got a +1, +2, -1. We'll move DeConja over. Baseball players a +3. Merriman stays the same. Robinson stays the same. Chaps gets worse. Perfect. So now we have those 3 athletes left, and it's just a matter of where they are best suited versus positions of need. Williams is either a running back, a wide receiver, or in the secondary. Because of the speed, I'd play him at wide receiver or in the secondary. And because... I mean, dude, 6'4" with 95 speed. We're already stacked at wide receiver. 80 catching. 80 catching, though. His catching traffic isn't very good. His route running is okay. His jumping's great. Shit. 78 pursuit. Good play recognition. Good man and zone coverage. Damn. I think he could be effective anywhere. But again, we already have so many goddamn wide receivers. Can you play someone on both sides of the ball? Technically, yes. I think we're going to put Williams in the secondary. He's going to be at corner as well. I mean, he is going to be massive. Chris Arnold, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, or fullback. Okay. Well, 88 speed. I wouldn't put you at wide out. He could be a running back. Could be a fullback, and we could put Burgess back at tight end. We'll see about him. And then Williams, running back, wide receiver, or in the secondary. Again, no reason to not just boost up the secondary. I will gladly take the extra players that we can get. We'll put him at corner as well. So for Chris Arnold, let's go running back, I think. Although, again, we have to bring in 2 tight ends next year if we don't move somebody over. We already have some good running backs. I can't believe this. We're going to put this guy at fullback. Here you go, Mr. Arnold. Maybe. He's just a little bit undersized at tight end. Yeah, I mean, Burgess is 6'5". Burgess is going back to tight end. All right. Well, we did have to move a lot of people around, but I feel like it worked out pretty well as long as I don't actually need 4 quarterbacks, but I don't think that I do. We have an ungodly amount of wide receivers, which is a bit of a problem, but we will we'll deal with it. I feel like I feel like I should play it safe, actually. Let's move Chandler back to quarterback. We'll move Thornton to running back for now. I just want to make sure it doesn't bring on a walk-on anywhere that would cause us to have to get rid of an extra guy. I think we're good there. We are going to have to cut people. That's for sure. But I think that worked out pretty well. Given the fact we're losing a 99 rated quarterback, that works out pretty well. In terms of the training results, Jesus. Girthquake's going to be rocking an 83. Will likely be the starter this year. 84 at running back for Laramie Cheyenne. 84 fullback for Twitty Goth Girlfriend. A 92 wideout for Fat McApee. Quite a few 80s. God damn. God damn. Tight end wise, Turf Monster, Varsity Athlete, both still looking good. GeoGuessr at left tackle. My God. Woo. Again, the 99 center is Mayo an Instrument, just the second player ever of ours to hit a 99. We're still looking okay. Might not be the strongest in every position that we've ever been, but we are still looking pretty good. Okay. Our punter's up to an 88, but we know he'll still never hit a field goal if we were to move him to kicker or just play him as our kicker. How many players do we have to cut? 8. 8 players. I don't know why it gave us a walk-on running back. I don't know why it gave us this fullback either, but you're both gone. So actually it's 7. Bizarre, but okay. 7 people have to go. Hate to say it, but an obvious cut is the senior wideout, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh yeah, now it's 7, you're right. Why did I think it was 79 before? Amon-Ra's got to go. As a senior, he's never going to play. He's just not. So Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. Move that will not haunt me. Could also get rid of Don't Stop Me Having a Good Time, just because Friends in Low Places did go up to an 82. Most of these wideouts we can't redshirt. It's a money donation. Well, it's still, I don't care. That doesn't guarantee that they won't get cut if it's what's best for the team. Not at all. I have to do what's best for my program. Let's see. Linebacker. We can get rid of Mayor McCheese. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, but you're out of here. We actually have some depth in the corner position for once. That's insane. Safety, we technically have 1 spot. Oh, this is going to be tough for these final 4. I mean, Danny Richardson is never going to be a starter. Never. He's got Seals and Chandler directly ahead of him. I can cut him without there being a walk-on, so he's out. At running back, we'll try to keep the 4. For wide receiver, thanks Obama's a wideout. Wide receiver, I can't believe it, but we are going to get rid of Don't Stop Me Having a Good Time as well. It makes sense. It just makes sense. Like, he's not that much better than Low Places, and Low Places is only a sophomore. It's got to be done. We could get rid of a tight end, but again, I'd prefer not to because we have the 2 seniors. We still got to get rid of 2 dudes. Could be a defensive end. I mean, she thinks my tractor's not very good. Sorry to she thinks my tractor's sexy. The 5'9" lineman. You gotta go. And then probably a linebacker. Maybe a corner. I can't possibly cut gay icon George Washington, can I? Ugh. What a terrible time to have to make a decision. It's either gay icon or all ass, no chaps. I can't cut the gay icon. All ass is out. We're down to 70. Some difficult decisions as always, but they had to be made. They had to be made. But I do like the way our team's looking next year. I'm sad. I'm sorry. Tough decisions have to be made in athletics where you don't pay the athletes, but the school makes millions. To the skill tree. In terms of resetting said trees. Oh my god, our defensive coordinator is not based, but base level. Let's get the shedding and power moves up there, I guess. Then obviously this head coaching tree, we're pretty much going to be setting it up the same way that we did before. Go with the pipeline. Now, if I do that, undo. It's not what I meant by undo. I'm trying to see the least amount of points I can spend. So if we do this, do that. Okay. Well, now we know. Now we know. One there. Okay, yeah, it does have to be that way. But we are now up to a 10% chance of an insta-commit when you offer a scholarship. Again, there's still some questions about whether or not you have to be in first to actually accomplish it. But we are at 2 out of 3 on the Saban factor, which is very good news. So despite the fact that we have almost a base level defensive coordinator, we're still looking good. Last thing to do before we get to renaming is to set up the new conferences. We start at the very bottom in the Sun Belt, where Temple last night were promoted as champions. They will be replacing Western Kentucky, and Western Michigan will be relegated for Eastern Michigan. So that is your look at the brand new Sun Belt Conference, the very bottom tier, the 11th tier total. That is what the Sun Belt looks like heading in to our next season. There are so many Michigans. It's absurd. Trevor Zegras would be jealous. Monroe, did they get relegated? No, they did not. Because in the SEC, UAB are promoted as champions. They'll be replacing Coastal Carolina. And Charlotte have been relegated for the New Mexico Lobos. So that is what the SEC, our 10th tier, will look like heading into this next season. Monroe survived. You can see them in the bottom left. They'll be in the SEC for one more season at least. We go to Tier 9, the Pac-12, promoted as champions, James Madison, as they'll be replacing Ball State, and South Alabama are relegated in favor of Troy. So that is your brand new Pac-12. Again, the 9th tier in total that we have in this new pro-rel system. James Madison did get promoted, yes. They did. And the Troy Trojans almost made the national title game. So, craziness aplenty. We go to Tier 8 with the Mountain West. SMU have been promoted as champions. They will be replacing Fresno State, while Rutgers were relegated for Washington State. So that will be the Tier 8 Mountain West Conference. Heading into next season, the name is very funny, given that, as you can see, the Buffalo Bulls are in this particular conference. Florida Atlantic as well. It's just an all-around good time. But that is the Mountain West. For the MAC, Tier 7, the Green Wave of Tulane have been promoted, as they'll be taking the spot of Boise State, and Oregon State have been relegated for Hawaii. So that is what the MAC will look like for our upcoming season. And Boston College still down there. We've seen Memphis drop down quite a few times, quite a few spots now. We go to Conference USA, where Navy were promoted as champions. They'll be replacing NC State, and Mississippi State are replaced by Army. So that is the brand new look for Conference USA, the 6th tier overall. And we were there not so long ago, and now you see what that's looking like. We go up to Tier 5, the Big Ten, where West Virginia were promoted as champions. They will be replacing Florida State, while Kansas State have been relegated for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. So again, that is the Tier 5 Big Ten Conference heading into our next season. Again, Army, Navy, BYU. A lot of blasts from our past in the Big Ten. Out of the Big Four, the 4th tier, your Wyoming Cowboys promoted as champions. We will be replacing North Carolina, while Utah have been relegated for the Oklahoma Sooners. So that is what the Big 12 looks like for this new season. Again, the Big 12, the 4th tier overall. And that is still a very, very tough conference. We go to the 3rd tier. In the American, promoted as champions, the Oregon Ducks, who will be taking over for Virginia Tech, and Miami have been relegated for the Texas Longhorns. So there you see it. For the first time confirmed, the Tier 3 American Conference, which houses Wyoming, for the very first time, as we are in a division with the Miami Hurricanes, Minnesota, Nebraska, Pittsburgh, and TCU. On the other side is Bama, Baylor, Oklahoma, San Diego State, UCF, and Virginia Tech. We are in the same conference as Alabama. I don't know how we got here, or how they got here either. In the ACC, your national champions yet again, the USC Trojans, have been promoted to the Superior Six in favor of the Tennessee Volunteers. And of course, for the very first time, we relegate Ohio State as they lose their spot to the Florida Gators. So that is your new look 2nd tier, the ACC. As incredibly, Ohio State find themselves in a lesser conference for the very first time. And what a goddamn conference they're in, right? Clemson, Louisville, Notre Dame, Oregon, and UCLA. That brings us to the Superior Six. Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Penn State, Texas A&M, and USC are the top 6 programs in the country right now. Unbelievably, though, we are in Tier 3. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm so glad Texas got promoted so we don't have to deal with them this year. I have consistently thought that we've hit our ceiling. I really can't help but think that we have now. If we get promoted to Tier 2, I'll be happy. I don't know if we're ever making it to Tier 1. I feel like so much would have to go our way with the limitations that we have. I just don't see it happening.